Hello friends, it is my first video properly back in my new house in Maryland, and it feels so good to be back sitting down recording a proper video. First off, yes, I did get a haircut. I hope this isn't too much of a jump scare. I've been wanting to cut my hair honestly for a really long time. The braids were not like really an intentional style decision. They were more of a pandemic hair thing that I just let roll because life is so busy. And right before I was leaving Marshall, there was like a haircut and a beer special at the bar, which is a great way to get your haircut when it's really long and you just want to lop it all off and you're going for something bold. Have a beer first. Highly recommend. So I got my haircut. I really like it, and I don't care if you don't, because the old hair was really heavy and sweaty while I was moving, and this hair suits my 1920s house. So if you haven't been following this channel in a little while, I recently moved from the Asheville area to Baltimore, and this was something I had meant to do like around this fall, like start looking for a house seriously in the fall, but I had already been like looking at the real estate market. It's always a good idea to get like a very long acquaintance with the real estate market of a place you want to move to so that you'll just know what kind of housing stock is available and when a really good house pops up versus a like, oh, you know, you'll find one like that again easily, or what you can afford, blah, blah, blah. So this house popped up and it fit like almost all of our criteria and was just a really good space for us. And it was kind of in our budget. So we went for it and we got it and we're here, but it was very overwhelming because I was preparing to do this in the fall and I kind of had everything planned out and lined up to be ready in the fall, not June 1st to start this process. So it was just, I wanted to keep doing some videos during this time. I really did not have like a minute of free time over the last 2 months, except like the kind of free time you have when you're just so exhausted that all you can do is just kind of melt into a sofa for a couple of hours. Like your brain and your body are just done. And of course there was a lot of socializing. Like we have friends, my parents live in Asheville. Like there was any free time I did have was pretty much occupied seeing people that I wouldn't be able to see again anytime soon, if ever. Because I know the channel can be portable, but the people that we made friends with there are not. Long story short, I just haven't had time to do anything. But now I have a lot of time. In fact, I have a new plan. Like this is the first time I'm really taking YouTube seriously as like my main gig now that this whole move thing is out of the way. So I'm really excited about it. I have so many ideas and I love the house. We had to buy it sight unseen because the market here is really hot. And luckily I love the house. It's so me. It's got that old charm, but it has a lot of updates that, like the first house I ever bought was in Maryland and we were so broke. So it was just like a total fixer upper, like this old, uninsulated, unupdated, still had knob and tube wiring and its original windows, and it like plaster was falling off the ceiling and the walls were cracked. Like it was a total fixer upper. So this house is so nice because it's got that same old charm I loved about our first house, but it has modern windows and insulation and central air and like modern things, electrical outlets in abundance and in logical places. So it's been so nice. I will say I'm very hot. The attic is not air conditioned. This is my workspace. I got a portable air conditioner to put in the window, but it weighs like 10,000 pounds and I can't lift it up the stairs. I have to wait for a more able-bodied man to be around to help me, or well, really able-bodied anybody to help me lug it up the stairs. So I'm very sweaty. Sorry about my sheen. So we haven't had internet for a week. It's finally getting installed on Tuesday. It said on the website that we could install it ourselves, but we needed a coaxial cable, and I have not been able to find a coaxial cable. The people who lived in this house are like 90 years old, and I'm like, did they not have internet? Disheveled editing Lydia here. Yes, I actually confirmed this with the neighbors. The old people who lived here before did not have any internet. They said that when the guy who lived here died, and it was just the wife, their son was going to live here for a little bit of time, and he was going to try to get internet hooked up, but then they ended up just selling it, and he didn't bother. So that's for real. They actually went through 30 years of mainstream internet usage without ever getting the internet. I have to say, kind of impressed. I've also been, kind of busy. Like, I can't even get to my laundry right now because there's so many boxes that the movers dumped in the way of my washing machine. So, first I got the kitchen set up, then I got the living room kind of livable, then I got the attic set up so that I could work here, and now I'm trying to uncover my washing machine. So, my free time has been pulled at in multiple directions. But when you see this video, it should be my normal Wednesday upload day because we should have internet by Wednesday. Yay! There have also been some various kinks, like when you move into a new house, like the day that we moved in and we'd been unpacking, we were really exhausted. I mean, I hadn't slept like more than 3 hours in, I don't know, many days. I was so tired. It's like 10 p.m. My mom is staying in the house on an air mattress with the cats, and we are going to a hotel room because we had unpacked the truck that we packed, but the furniture, the beds, had not arrived yet. So we were going to a hotel. We're all about to part for the night, and we start smelling gas, and we realize the oven is leaking gas, the old oven. So I had to call BGE and get an emergency person to come out at 10:30. And he's like, oh yeah, it's leaking gas. And there was no shut-off valve specifically for the oven like there's supposed to be. So he had to shut off all the gas, including the hot water. So then there was no hot showers. And I had to figure out how to get somebody to install a safety valve. And it was a whole thing. So there's been craziness like that. Whenever you move, I swear, there's always something. Like when we moved to North Carolina, a pipe broke. Nobody was in the house and just soaked everything. I think houses don't like change. They're kind of like cats. They just have something goes wrong just because they're upset at change. And I don't blame them. I don't like change either. I hope this is my last house. I hope it is because it's really, really cute. It's kind of wild being back in a city after I've been living for 15 years in more rural towns. There's good Chinese takeout right down the street, you guys. It feels like such an indulgence to get good Chinese takeout again after living in the country. And I'm not a fan of Amazon, but when you move, you end up having to make some Amazon orders because you realize you forgot important things or you can't find them and you need them. So this is the one time where we've had to make a lot of Amazon orders. And if you make an Amazon order at 10 p.m., it's on your doorstep at 5 a.m. That just seems wrong, really. But it's wild. After being in the country, that stuff has been wild. I feel like when I move, it gives me this delusion that I could change my entire life. I'm in a new place, nobody knows me. I can rethink the entire person that I am and who I really want to be, what I didn't like about my past self. And I get this idea that I can just, it's a clean slate and I could just change everything, be somebody completely different. So even though it's not, of course, I know it's not entirely accurate, I'm not going to become a completely different person, it is a good chance to remake some of your routines and habits. So I've been thinking about that a lot. And when I moved to North Carolina, that actually did kind of happen. When I moved there, I really was I'm going to get out. I'm going to walk to town. I'm going to do things. I'm going to be a part of the community. So I started writing at the coffee house every morning. And I did a bunch of things. I was super social and going into town all the time and meeting a bunch of people. I started a little writing club in the town. As soon as I got there, I was doing it. I was remaking my life and becoming a different person. And it felt really good. I mean, not a completely different person, but I was becoming more community minded and I had kind of a fresh schedule, felt really good. And then the pandemic hit. So that kind of really threw off my whole plan. And I tried it again when the pandemic was over and then the hurricane hit. So it ended up feeling like I was not having a very successful time because I kept getting knocked back in a big way. But now I'm in a new place and I'm thinking about it again. Who do I want to be here? What do I want my life to look like? Once again, I really, really want to be more a part of the community. I want to be social. I want to make a conscious effort to be a good friend, meet people, be a part of things. So I really want to do like one social thing every week, because after the pandemic and the hurricane in North Carolina, I kind of just gave up. I stopped going out and seeing people and going to town and making any kind of social life happen. But hopefully there won't be a pandemic and a hurricane here. I mean, my gosh, you never know, do you? But I'm going to try to do at least one social thing every week. But the other thing is, I really need to take time out to like read. I haven't taken enough like downtime. If you're self-employed, I'm sure you can relate. It's really easy to just work all the time. But not like, I'm not really working all the time. But if I'm not working, I'm often just kind of fiddling about on the internet or doing things that aren't very productive or conscious. So I have a ton of work to do now that I'm here. I really need to get back into the groove of things, and I need to do it like in a big way. I need to make money. But at the same time, I don't want that to absorb my whole life. I really don't want to not live because I'm just working. And it's very easy for me to do that. Y'all know I'm a Capricorn. It's very easy to just work. So I don't want to do that. I want to work in a very conscious, planned way, and then not work in an equally conscious and planned way. I think that I would do better when I have a schedule. So I have never tried to set up my work schedule like I have like a day job, like with a planned schedule. You do this at X time, you work these hours, and then you're on the clock and you're off the clock. I've never tried to do it like that, but I'm thinking I might want to try, now that I'm here, kind of to set myself up with like a 40-hour work week and weekends that don't necessarily happen on the actual weekend, but 2 days off, one for like social life and one for reading, video games, like filling the well, downtime kind of stuff. I think it's really important to have those planned days and make sure that I do them, because otherwise I have a tendency to get so absorbed in my work that I blow people off. Like I'll think, oh, I should call my friend and catch up. And then I don't, because I'm like, oh, I've got all this work to do. I'll do it next week. And I don't take a day off. So I'm going to try planning it, but also I think if I plan my schedule, if I think of it like I'm on the clock for these hours, then I will not mess around on the internet quite as much. We'll see. I don't have the internet right now, so it's really easy to do at the moment, isn't it? Yesterday I tried this new schedule. It worked out really well, so hopefully that will continue. Here's what the schedule looks like, if you're curious. Okay, so I wrote down that I'm going to set an alarm. I don't usually set an alarm. I love to roll out of bed slowly, and I am one of those people that does not wake up quickly or easily. I'm kind of a zombie for the first couple hours, and I like to get a lot of sleep. So I don't usually set an alarm, but I'm thinking I need to, because I have a tendency to sleep a lot. So I wrote down 9 a.m. alarm, but that could fluctuate based on like how my hours, when I go to bed. Like currently I'm getting up at 7 a.m. because I'm still on like movers time. But for the sake of this conversation, 9 a.m. alarm, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. is my like waking up time. I have my hot cocoa, I have a cup of tea, I'm getting hydrated, I'm getting woken up. I check my Discord server and my YouTube comments and hang out there and just, coming alive. At 11 a.m. is when work really begins. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'm planning for YouTube work, writing scripts, recording videos, editing videos, getting them uploaded, thumbnail work, all that for 2 hours in the morning. Then I allotted 3 hours to make and eat lunch with Dade. Obviously, I'm breaking up my work day, not in a 9 to 5 kind of way. I'm giving myself a big lunch period because I usually make a meal from scratch completely for lunch, and we watch a couple episodes of TV or something and have like some time together. He usually wakes up later than me, so it's about the time he would be waking up, and that way we get a little time together before I settle into intense work mode. So at 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., more YouTube work. at this point, I'm finally starting to treat YouTube like it's my job. This also may include things like answering work emails, doing a quick check on the Discord again, things like that. It isn't necessarily all making videos, but it's all the work that's associated with running a YouTube channel. So 2 more hours of that. Then from 6 to 8 p.m., writing time, dedicated writing time. Obviously, this is a channel about writing, so I need to do writing, and writing is what I love more than anything. If I could, I would just spend all my work hours writing and thinking about writing and outlining and editing, and that's like my love. But because I don't really plan to write to market, generally writing does not pay enough to just do it by itself. So just giving myself 2 hours for writing. Now I am planning to write to market for like the next 6 months to get over this hump between the moves and selling the old house and, you know, all the expenses associated with it. I'm going to do another video on my plans about that, but generally I'm not planning to just like go back to writing to market permanently, and I don't think that I will need to. I mean, it could fluctuate depending on what our old house sells for and how quickly it sells. That might influence the plan, but I don't think that I will have to go back to relying on writing to market to make my income. I think I'll probably still be able to get by on a pretty low income. And I'm also waiting to see how much things like electricity and the water bill, like what my like baseline expenses for the month are going to be here in Baltimore. So, you know, that's a little, it might be a bit of back and forth between writing to market and not, I'm not sure. But one thing is for sure, the Hidden Lands books, the books of my heart and my fantasy world, are still my priority in the long run. And based on the results I was seeing just with pretty minimal marketing and not very many books out, I also think that in the long run they could be pretty viable financially, but they're not a quick sale kind of thing. Writing to market is a different beast, and I'm going to talk about that in this other upcoming video. Then from 8 to 9 p.m. will be for social media, doing the TikToks, Instagram Reels, whatever, to get the word out about my books. I've had months here and there where I really did like daily posts on TikTok and Instagram Reels, and I was definitely seeing results when I was doing this consistently. I keep getting interrupted by life, but now all the crazy life stuff I think it's finally calmed down. So I'm going to try to do this going forward daily. From 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. is cleaning the kitchen and tidying up the house. I need to get that in there because part of getting lunch out the door and eaten and watching some television, spending time with Dave in just 3 hours, because that can take a while if you have to clean the kitchen first and then make the lunch. So I want to make sure the kitchen is clean in the morning when I start, and also that I just kind of keep up with the house a little bit. And then from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. is the evening wind down period where I stop working and I spend a little more time with Dave and or read or just relax. Or for the next foreseeable future, probably just keep unpacking and like putting things in order, because there's a lot of that to be done and I have to fit it in somewhere. Now, there are a few things missing from this schedule that I would like to do, such as editing work, doing some paid work, helping viewers of the channel who would like feedback on query letters and their books and all that kind of thing. I would like to offer at least a little bit of those services because people ask me a lot and I enjoy doing it. I don't have it slotted in yet, but I'll see how the schedule goes, and I might work that in, massage that into the schedule at some point, maybe an hour a day instead of YouTube work. I don't know. There's no exercise in there except for cleaning, which can admittedly be kind of exercisey in a way, but there's no real exercise. So ideally I should probably do like little 5-minute little workouts in between the transitions between tasks, so that I get some exercise. There's also not a lot of room in here for like unexpected stuff. Like when somebody calls me on the phone and wants to chat, or when I have an appointment or something to do. Like for the next 2 days, I've got the new oven getting installed and then internet getting installed. So that's gonna interrupt the schedule. And I think I just have to roll with it. Like whatever comes in that slot is just not gonna get done that day. and that's just the way it goes. I'm gonna try not to overly stress if I miss a block of work, because there's always tomorrow. This is still going to be very productive if I can stick to it. So if somebody interrupts me for a 2-hour block and I don't get the writing done or the YouTube done, it's okay. But that is difficult for me. I'm definitely somebody who, like, I get really focused on what I'm doing. I get really in the zone. Like, while I was moving, I was working so hard physically. Like, there was a day when, like, I spent 6 hours straight just schlepping boxes into a truck in the heat. And I'm not very strong, but, like, I was just like, no, we're gonna do this. Like, I am in the mode. And then when we got here and I had to unpack the truck, I realized we had to unpack this truck before the movers got here with the furniture. So I had to get it all out of their way. And then really the only place to do that was to put it in the basement. So I carried and, like, dragged all these heavy boxes, like 50 heavy boxes, into the basement in, like, one afternoon. It was a lot of physical work that I don't usually do. And normally I absolutely hate and will do anything to avoid doing this kind of work. I hate doing hard physical labor. But because I was, like, in the mode, I was, like, locked on. Like, I'm suddenly just like a pack horse today. I don't even care. I'm just gonna do it. Like, if I tell myself this is what I'm doing, then I will do it, almost no matter what it is. But if I'm in a different mode and I have to switch gears and do another thing, oh God, I hate it. I hate that so much. Then I'm bad at all the things and it just throws me off completely. I'm someone who really needs to tell myself, like, this is the thing you're doing right now, and then no one interrupt me. So that part is hard for me. It's hard when I get derailed from my schedule, and I don't know what to do about that. It's probably some kind of ADHD thing or something. I don't know. But either way, I'm excited to see how this goes. It's always fun to me to talk about, like, how to arrange your life, how to plan your life. I'm always coming up with kind of a new, like, system to see, like, is this one gonna work? Is that one gonna work? It has to be flexible depending on different life circumstances as well. So this one's kind of planned out for, like, my current circumstance, but it's been flexible over the years as I've had different kind of situations in life. So if you guys have any current routines or tricks, tips you're working with to try to, like, get your work done, make sure that you slot in fun things, good food or exercise, like all the house cleaning, like all those things that you have to try to, like, figure out how to wiggle in around life. I would love to hear what your routine is looking like currently. And I'm just so happy to be back and talking to you guys again. I've missed this so much. I've had so many ideas. I've just had to, like, very quickly jot down, like, put a pin in that. I'll get back to it. So it's very exciting. I've been waiting for this moment where I'm kind of solely focused on YouTube and not, like, selling stuff to move and getting rid of stuff. Like, the moving thing took a lot of bandwidth. And if you've been following me a long time, you'll also know that I had to deal with my father-in-law's whole estate before we even considered moving our own stuff and getting rid of, like, our own stuff. So for years now, that's been kind of my main preoccupation. And now we're finally here. It's all over. I can really settle in right when I hit 25,000 subscribers. So 50,000 ahoy. And I will see you this weekend with another video. Thank you so much for supporting me. If you'd like more from me, now that I'm back, I will get back to posting 2 bonus videos every month, voted on by you guys, for my subscribers on YouTube, Patreon, and Substack. Got 3 different options for you guys. Also, I'm going to try to get an extra bonus video in for the next few months to make up for the ones I didn't do in June and July. But, you know, we'll see how life goes. But that is hopefully on the slate, because I do feel bad about it. And if you'd like to read any of my books, there's a link in the description. My Hidden Lands books are the ones I always recommend first. They are the fantasy novels that are the books of my heart, but I also have a number of fantasy and paranormal romance novels. If you're new here, my name is Leah Foxglove, and on this channel I talk about the creative life in general and writing in particular, and I post every Sunday and sometimes also on Wednesdays. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye! There's Kobo. Yeah, look at you. Yeah. There's a very scared lion hiding his face. And here's Coco just making a little happy little nest.